Greetings to the Preparing a Thesis class here at Regent University's School of Divinity. This is your instructor, Dr. Larry Asplund, coming to you at the very official beginning of our class. I'm going to be communicating with you on Sunday evenings every week and several times with a bit of a video recording as well, just to try to focus and maybe clarify some items as we go forward. So I wanted to stop by tonight, the very first night of our class, and welcome you to week one. I'm excited about the kind of work we're going to be doing together this coming semester. So let me just give you a sense of where we are here at the beginning, how we need to get started, and where we're going to go from here. First of all, let me clarify that the primary goal of this class is not really to write a thesis. That's what will come up next semester. My goal is to prepare you, to position you to write a successful thesis, essentially to teach you how to do it. Now, some of you, already know quite well how to write a master's thesis, so we will work together as we go forward, kind of encouraging, coaching each other along the way. My concern is really not with the content of what you end up writing. It's my concern is with the mechanics, with the structure, with the process. And so we will be focusing on all the various issues and skills needed, both on the research side as well as the writing side of a thesis. So the course plan is, first of all, very simple: to spend part one of our course focusing on research issues. And we will be looking at every aspect of a master's thesis and working on them together, discussing them together as we go forward. And then the second half of the class will focus on the whole issue of academic writing. And it's just a formal, structured, a very systematic, intentional approach to writing. You have experience with that, with all of the research papers you've written. But, the master's thesis is something a little bit different and a little bit more, really, a little more focused and, I suppose, intense in a way. So we're going to be working together on that in the second half of this class. So first steps, first of all, the course syllabus is the key for you. Be sure you have downloaded it. There is a schedule there, so it kind of gives you a sense of how we're going to be progressing through the semester. And then under course assignments, you have all of the things you're going to need, not only to describe the assignments, but the resources for those assignments, including grading rubrics, etc. So everything is going to be under course assignments. Course resources will give you some additional resources, some documents, some links that are going to be used and will be helpful to you in this class. And then, of course, the course content area is where all 15 weeks of this course are described. And so you're always going to be looking there too, of course, with week one getting started this week. And so we try to organize it in a way that makes it user-friendly, hopefully intuitive, something that will be easy for us to work on together. The first thing you want to do, if you haven't done so already, is to jump into the discussion board and say hello. It's absolutely essential for us, especially in this kind of a class, to form as quickly as possible a learning community where we feel connected. At least for purposes of this class, you're going to have lots of opportunities to discuss your issues together, and ultimately in the end to have a peer review process, which is so very, very important to what we're doing. And that implies relationships, so the earlier you can connect, the better. Those who just kind of don't, and occasionally it will happen, just don't do well in the class. And so we learn best when we learn together. And I encourage you to do that by introducing yourself right away. There are some key resources for us. The Master's Thesis Manual is the most important one. It's being revised. It's not, so far as I can tell, that those revisions are not complete. There will be a couple of significant changes that I will, of course, describe to you as we go forward. As soon as the revised manual is available, I will put it up and send you a quick note saying that it is there. But almost all of the older one, last year's, is still relevant to you and a very, very helpful resource. Then there, of course, is Turabian 8th edition. Turabian is the standard for the School of Divinity. You know, I always keep mine handy with the pages that I need to look at regularly, dog-eared. So, you know, we're going to be referring to that. There's a lot of great resources in Turabian and not just formatting guidelines. So we will have assignments from Turabian. The classic text on formal research design is Cresswell's book. And you are going to have assignments out of Cresswell as well, and will give you some tremendous insight in research methods and plans, etc. And it's just going to help you along as you prepare for the writing of your thesis. And then for biblical studies, the SBL Handbook of Style is also the standard when it comes to documenting biblical passages, etc. If there's ever a contradiction between SBL, just to give you a hint up front, and Turabian will always be preferred. But it's a great resource, and I will also be posting links to some simplified version as well as we go forward. So there are several graded assignments in this class. There are 6 discussion forums that will begin right away this week. And then there will be 6 writing group assignments. That's the peer review process. I will be jumping into the discussion forums and sharing with you in those discussions. With the writing group, that's really, you're going to be focused on providing feedback for each other in a very kind of structured way. And so I won't be interacting as much there. And then there are 3 final assignments. There will be the thesis statement and literature review, which will also include the bibliography in week 13. It's really the first part of the thesis prospectus, which is the capstone assignment for this course. And so the prospectus is a big assignment. I'm essentially going to be grading it in 2 parts. So the first part will be week 13. The second part will be the entire prospectus, although I will only grade the elements that I did not grade in week 13. And then in week 15 will be chapter 1, actually the chapter 1 of the thesis that you will be writing next semester. And you will discover that it's basically a reworking of the prospectus. But, you know, that chapter 1 is going to be very important because that's going to be the key document that is used to hand you off to your chair. So we're getting started. We're setting the stage in week 1. First of all, it's important to review the Divinity documents. Again, don't hesitate to look at last year's thesis manual because almost all of it is relevant. There are just there are a couple of changes in the way you gained entrance into this class. For instance, THM students are no longer included in this class, and we have a different protocol for assigning thesis chairs. Other than that, all the general information about the thesis and about the prospectus is relevant. So you want to be sure to look at that, and then it's important for you to review the human subjects the review process, including the proposal. You may not need this for your master's thesis. This is always needed for doctoral students, occasionally for a master's student, but it's important that you're aware of it in advance. And then, of course, there's the week 1 discussion forum where I ask you to share about your background, your graduate research and academic writing background. We have a sense of kind of what we have experienced so far, and it will also give us a sense of maybe what we need to do to go forward together. I'm going to be scheduling in week 2 a Blackboard Collaborate session, and we are now using in the School of Divinity the new Ultra tool. So I'm going to need to do some preparation for you if you've not already experienced Ultra. I want to make sure that you're ready. It's really user friendly. It's I think it's easier than the traditional Blackboard Collaborate tool. The new one doesn't require extra software to be loaded onto your computer, etc. So it's kind of slicker, really, but I want to make sure that you are comfortable jumping in and participating. But listen, I'm not going to schedule a Collaborate session until I hear from you. I want to find out what your best times are. So if you will email me ASAP on your best times for just a 60-minute maximum Collaborate session, I think you will find doing this a couple of times will be very helpful in answering your questions and trying to stay, realistic and stay focused on our process. So week 2, I'm going to schedule one, but not until I hear from you. So if you will email me your best times as soon as possible, then I will send you a note clarifying our week 2 schedule, and also probably some helps when it comes to introducing you to Ultra in case you have not experienced that before. Wanted to say something about the thesis chair. We now have a new protocol that's also being used. I mean, it works so well for the master's thesis in the summer that now the DMin students and the PhD students in the process of doing their dissertation are using the same protocol that we have established ourselves for the master's thesis. So you will discover that your chair will be appointed by Dr. Gilbert, who is the master's program director, probably around week 8, maybe week 9, and it's going to be based on a document that you make available at the end of week 6. So there's going to be an opportunity for there to be a very specific informed appointment of a thesis chair for you. When we get closer, if you have already been communicating with a faculty member, etc., you can communicate that to Dr. Gilbert, but he's responsible for making the appointment. And so that will happen then around week 8 or 9, and then I will give you 2 opportunities to submit a document along with a chair review rubric to your appointed chair so that he or she can begin to give you some feedback. Now, once again, they're the ones who are going to take you through the writing process next semester. So they're not to begin that process, but it's very, very important, I feel, for them to have an initial contact with you and to be able to give you some initial feedback. So that's going to be happening later in our class. So everybody keep calm. We're doing this together. It's a group experience. We're a learning community, and that's the whole idea. We're here to prepare you and to prepare together for the writing of your master's thesis. I know it's going to be a great experience for you. I pray that it will be enjoyable for you, that it will be better, clearer than it would be than if you just had a single individual kind of leading you through this preparation process. So I want you to know that I'm here for you. You are in my prayers every day. I'm available to you. Don't hesitate to contact me. Our guidelines are to always respond to email within 24 hours. I will always attempt to do that more quickly. If you feel like you want a phone call, just text me. My number is under the faculty info, and request an appointment. We'll make one. We'll get together on the phone. We'll do whatever we can to make it work for you. So God bless you, everybody. I'm excited about this learning experience this semester. I just pray that you have a very blessed week 1.